Hey students, I want to go over your work for the week. First of all, make sure that you always open up this top page because this gives you instructions as well as links to assignments. This week you're going to be focusing on specialized cells and how the shape of the cell matches their functions. So the first thing I would like for you to do is to watch this video. It's only like 3 or 4 minutes long, but it gives you a really good idea about the different types of cells that are in your body and how their functions go with their shape, with their form. Then I would like for you to click on this link, which I already have open. This is all of your athletes. I have all the athletes. Find yours on here, but I have pictures that go with their injury or their disease or disorder. So just scroll down if you are looking for yours. These also have links to take you back to the incident report or a link that takes you to the information about the disorder. But here are some of the cells that are involved in this. Here's some of the body parts. Here's a reminder of some of the processes or problems that could come with this disorder. So that's Apollos. I've got Dana over here. So again, you might think wrist, but then you might not be aware of all the parts of a wrist. Okay. Here's Danielle Lugo and this, Eric Wang, the swimmer. Okay. I've got Jade Govney and Joe Bell. Okay. And then I've got Kyle Guy and Jenny. So as you look through these different parts, this should help you to think through the types of cells that might be involved in their injury or their disorder. And then your next assignment, you're going to click here for assignment for specialized cells. I have a teacher example I'm going to show you. So the first part of it, you're going to say who your athlete is. Some of you are forgetting to put the name. Put the name down. That's helpful. Then your diagnosis that you had from last week. Then the summary. And if you forgot what the summary is, that's here. You can come back to these things and click on the incident report and get the summary. Granted, you should have it from last week's assignment. And the symptoms. When I'm asking you for the cells that are involved, it's not just the cells that make up that part of the body, it's also the cells that are involved in the disease process. So if this person has pain, then they would have nerve cells involved in this. If they have sweating, they would have some skin cells involved in this, okay? Though that's not one of the options I have here. So then you're going to go through this chart. You're going to read about the type of cell, and you're going to tell me yes or no if it's involved in your person's disease process or disorder. And you're going to tell me if it's yes, how it's connected. Okay. So I said that Maria Gonzalez up here has pneumonia. That was the sample one. And so red blood cells are, yes, involved in that because red blood cells carry oxygen. And pneumonia is a bacteria, it's an infection in the lungs. And so the red blood cells wouldn't be getting enough oxygen. Neurons, yes, because she's feeling pain. Neurons in the brain, not as much. Skeletal muscles, not as much. Adipose tissues, that's fat, not as much. Epithelial cells in the airways, in the lungs, absolutely, because pneumonia is an infection of the lungs. Okay, so then you just go through all the different types. And then for most of you, you're going to have this last one, cells involved in the inflammation response. If there's inflammation involved in your disorder, then yes, these are involved in fighting infection, or if you have an injury, they help to clean up the area that's injured. So that's the first part of your assignment. The second part of your assignment is to come up with a treatment plan for your athlete, because the goal is to get them back to playing sports at a full function. So this treatment plan is going to have 3 parts. The first part of the treatment plan is the immediate treatment. All of your athletes have gone to the emergency room, and the question is, what are they doing in the emergency room to help them with an acute something that's happening right then. So this girl has pneumonia. The doctors are going to prescribe antibiotics. They're probably also going to prescribe a cough suppressant, fever suppressant. Longer term, she's not getting put in the hospital. She's going home. So she's going to need to rest. She is going to need to finish taking all of her medicine, all of her antibiotics. And she shouldn't go back to school or sports until her fever is totally down. And then lastly, preventative measures. So pneumonia can reoccur if you go back to it too quickly. So she's supposed to get fully recovered, and then as she goes back to playing lacrosse, she should start out slowly. If she feels out of breath, she should rest. She shouldn't go back into a game until she can practice without feeling out of breath. Now, she has an illness. If you have a person with an injury, then think through. They probably have to go to physical therapy if they're not using that part of their body for a while. Look up some of the treatments that they have. Say, what are the best, um, how do I fix a shoulder? How do I rehab a wrist? If it's diabetes, look up how do you treat diabetes, and then how are you able to prevent attacks from coming? So you're kind of putting these things through. The one for overhydration, obviously there's going to be an immediate treatment, and then there can be preventative. There's probably not as much long term unless they've done some damage to their body. So those are your 2 assignments for the week. And this is the end of the human body unit. The following week we will start a new unit.